So the purpose of today's class is just to get an approach. So already if you have come to the class means, I hope you have already decided that you want to take Sociology Optional. Yes? Anyway, before we go to that, happy Civil Services Day. Yes? Hopefully in future, we have to become IAS, IPS, IRS, and we have to transform Indian society from Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav to Amrut Kal. Correct? Viksit Bharat, right? So, officers, both, of course. Lady officers as well as male officers. Yes, both. So, anyway, why do you want to prepare for civil services? Casual question. Come on, dear students online. Why do you want to prepare for civil services? Don't worry, this is not UPSC interview, dear. You can tell. You can tell whatever you feel. Huh?
For helping society.
Very good. For helping society. One answer. Very nice. What else? So what else?
It's a power, sir. Power which gives.
Power. So one is saying to help society. Very good. Accepted. Power. Okay. Power star. Power. Social status. Okay.
It gives us more dependence.
More responsibility, more satisfaction. Oh my god. Responsibility, satisfaction. Oh, nice. What else? Diversifying the challenges. Oh, nice. So many diversified challenges are there. Yes, very good. Sir, respect and helping others. Oh my god. Okay. Will you help others in the exam? No, sir. After the exam. During the exam? No. During the preparation? During the preparation? Oh, nice. So after the class is over, when you are walking on the street, there is some garbage cover. So what will you do? Sir, what are you talking? What will you do? On the middle of the road, there is a garbage cover. Oh, we will pick up. One option we will pick up. Okay, what else?
If we find nearby any.
Come in. Oh, if you find near a dustbin, pick up it and throw in the dustbin. Very good answer. What else? But why everybody will not stop? Why everybody will not pick up? Answer is correct. Why everybody will not pick up? Why everybody will not throw that in the dustbin?
Mostly people will feel ashamed to pick up.
People feel ashamed to pick up. People. Okay, we are getting the answer. What else? So whatever answer you told, all answers are correct. But why did I ask a question? Why do you want to prepare for civil services? First, you should have clarity of what you are doing. So who decided that you want to prepare for UPSC, dear? Who decided? Come on. Who decided that you want to prepare for UPSC? Parents? Oh, it's not their duty, sir. Everybody will feel. Okay? I got the answer because I want to link all these answers to social. That's the reason why I asked all these questions. Anyway, come back to the main question. First day when I ask a question, why do you want to prepare for civil services? You gave some rough answer. Suppose after 6 months, after 1 year, I am asking the same question. Will there be change in the answer? Oh, definitely. Good answer, better answer, improved answer. So what is the change during this time? Change in yourself? Change in yourself? Change in your thought process? Change in your belief? All that is related to sociology only. So how did the thought of preparing civil services came to your mind? When did the thought of UPSC come to your mind? Come on, when did you decide? Or when did you get an idea that there is something called UPSC? It will select IAS, IPS, IRS. When did you get that idea?
When we see the difficulties of the people.
Okay, some influence from friends, influence from family, relatives, somewhere some inspirational personalities. Maybe your school, colleges, someone came, IAS or IPS came as a guest lecture, red carpet was there, correct? Influence. So, You need not answer to others, but you should answer to yourself. Why do you want to prepare for civil services? The stronger the answer, the better the answer, the more intensive the answer, the better your preparation will be. Because UPSC is not just a single exam. It is a test of knowledge, test of patience, test of emotional balance, and more important, how to deal with the failure rather than deal with the success. First of all, what is success? What is failure? It varies from person to person. Can we say that? So, for someone having more money is a success. Who is measuring? Society is measuring. For someone having a respectable position is a success. Who is measuring? Society is measuring. So when I ask you, are you belong to rich class or poor class or middle class? Again, we're comparing with whom? Society. So are you a good person or a bad person? Compared to whom? Compared to whom? Correct? So is India a developed country or a developing country or still struggling to develop? Compared to some advanced societies. Can we say that? So first have a clarity. Why do you want to prepare for UPSC? If possible, write in the A4 paper and keep on your, maybe wherever you see every day. So why, sir? Your mind will stimulate positive action toward that goal. First, yes, you decided you want to prepare for civil services. Very good. Second, time frame. You want to become an IAS officer. Very good. Accepted. By when? There should be time frame also. So you want to go to your native place, but there is some time frame, destination we have to reach. So suppose there is flight connectivity, there is train connectivity, there is bus connectivity, by walk also. Which one will you select? Based on convenience, affordability, urgency of the situation, time frame, you will select a particular route. For someone, bus route may be good. For someone, train route may be good. For someone, affordable and time frame, they can go through plane. So exactly for UPSC journey, GS is same, but different routes are optionals. So what is convenient for you? What is easy for you according to you and your interest, your liking, your skills? And most important, those who want to prepare for civil services, they have something called civic sense. What is civic sense? What all you told is civic sense. We are not just criticizing like a common man. Government is useless, PM is waste, CM is waste, we have to kill all of them. No, that's radical political criticism. You have civic sense, you are not only criticizing, you are finding out possible way to solve the problem. Yes? So an accident happened on the road. Not everybody will stop the vehicles and stop that person. Those who have that civic sense, those who are responding to the society, those who are responding to social challenges, so they have that attitude to help the others. Correct? So in the process, first have a clarity. Why do you want to prepare for UPSC? Second, casually I'm asking, why do you want to prepare for Sociology Optional? It's okay, dear. You can tell whatever answer you feel it. Why do you want to take Sociology Optional? Scoring. Okay. First tick box. 290 plus 300 plus almost every year. Okay. Interest in the subject. Very good. Limited syllabus. Oh, overlap with the other subjects, sir. Clever strategy. Overlap with the GS options also. Okay, fine. What else?
Repeated.
Oh, if you get some repeated questions, you will get the previous broad themes. Nice. So ultimately, what is the purpose of taking Sociology Optional, or why do you want to study Sociology Optional?
To know the society.
Yes. You want to become a better individual. In the process, it will help you in the exam also. It will make you more responsible civil servant in the future. Because the same issue you are going to understand from multiple problems. So we are not just a common man who is simply criticizing. We are trying to find out the root cause from various dimensions. So all of us know very simple question. Boys, will you take dowry? Sir, it helps in writing, answer writing. It improves a easy language also. Oh, nice. So I'm asking a question. Boys, will you take dowry after clearing civil services? What are you taking, sir? It is our fundamental right, sir. Come on, how much approximately, dear? 10 crore? No, sir. Not less than 100 crore. Oh my God. High target. So, but Anti-Dowry Act is passed in 1961. And the Anti-Dowry Act says, any amount that is taken above 5,000 rupees, is a punishable offence, both for giving, both for taking, and imprisonment is just 5 years. Both for giving, both for taking. See, look at it. There is a law, there is an act which says you should not do certain things, but still why people are doing it? So you went to a marriage, and at marriage you are telling everyone, Anti-Dowry Act 1961, I'll inform the police. So you are giving 1.5 crore, 2 crores. What is public reaction? Some mad girl. Yes? Do you think so? So what does it mean? Change will not come from a law. Change will come from the change in the character of a person. So to bring that change, we need to understand that social dimension of bringing the change. So in the formative years, right from a childhood, value system, ethics and character is built in such a way, he will not do anything that is against his own conscience. See, it's not that traffic police is stopping, that's the reason why we are wearing helmet. No. Our conscience clearly is saying to us, I have to follow the rules. Even if somebody is watching or somebody is not watching. So similarly, one more social evil. For the last several years, 75 years, government launched so many schemes for eradication of poverty, eradication of unemployment. But still, why poverty exists, why unemployment exists? So first we need to correctly understand the social dimension of the problem. See, after clearing civil services, you'll be taken to a tour called Bharat Darshan. Real life, you will go and study a village from interacting with the people and coming up with the solutions practically to solve the problems. So which means the sociology knowledge base is not just for roughly 500 marks in optional, around 300 to 400 marks only in essay writing or others. It changes you completely. You will become a better person. Over and above, helping in scoring the marks. So first clarity, why do you want to prepare for sociology? Second, just now I said, 3 to 4 months, roughly if you can spend the time daily 2 to 2.5 hours, answer writing every day, daily almost, hopefully you will get a good basic knowledge. Now after that, when you read the newspaper, you will get yourself enriched because you understood that issue not only from that article dimension, so many other dimensions you know. So uniform civil code is just a current affairs issue. But after completing sociology, same uniform civil code, you will understand from religion perspective, region perspective, administrative perspective, economic perspective, legal perspective. So first clarity, why do you want to prepare for UPSC? Have answer for yourself. Second, I asked why do you want to take sociology optional? Yes. Any optional, as you said, score. Apart from that, interest, you said, tick box. So she said something, previous year questions, resources, availability of the resources, overlap with the GS syllabus. Apart from that, if you look at availability of the guide or the mentor to correct your answers and to get it in the right dimension of UPSC demand. See, material is available everywhere. From that material, what to take, what inputs to be given, what to be avoided, how our answer framework should be. So if these tick boxes are okay for you, already have decided that you want to prepare for sociology optional, then what should we do, sir? Initially, first we'll be building up the basic knowledge. But anyway, as I was told, so this 1 week sociology optional classes will be free for everybody in paper 1. The basis of understanding the entire sociology is sociological thought. Actually, many teachers avoid this topic in the first day or the first course. They'll take up something easy, family kinship, marriage, religion, so everybody will be comfortable. But I'm doing different. Next 1 week, we'll be covering thinkers only. Thinkers and thinkers concepts only. The purpose of the class is, once again I am saying, it will create a basic platform to cover the sociological issues from various dimensions. So, about myself, my name is Vishnu Vardhan Reddy. So, some of my students already know about me. I have done Masters in ME Economics and Masters in Sociology. So, I cleared UGC NET and AP SET, so which is eligible for JRF. So, in Sociology. Apart from that, I worked in Intelligence Bureau as ACAO, Assistant Central Intelligence Officer. I also worked as Administrative Officer in ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. So, after that, I like teaching, so I shifted to teaching. I have been in teaching from 2015. So I'll teach sociology as well as economy for UPSC, Bangalore, Chennai. So in Hyderabad, in various institutes. This is about myself, out of syllabus, not important for us. But just to know, because there are some students who will test the knowledge of the teacher also, just for them to give a glimpse. So otherwise, now first clarity, why optional? Second clarity, sociology. After that, today's class, I'll be thinking class will be a brainstorming. Brainstorming means in the class itself, we'll get a clarity of what you are talking. So first and foremost, foundation for the entire sociology subject is sociological thought. Meaning, I hope you have seen the syllabus. Yes? Come on dear. Sociological thought. This topic is there in which paper? Paper 1 or paper 2? Those who have seen the sociology syllabus, come on. This sociological thought, this topic, thinkers, Karl Marx, Emile Durkheim, Dumont. So this thinkers is there in paper 1 or paper 2? Come on. Only 2 papers are there, sir. Either in paper 1 or paper 2. Paper 1? Paper 1, chapter 4. It's okay. So first day, no need to know the syllabus. Very good. Sir, paper 1, chapter 4, sir. Have you seen the importance of this sociological thought in paper 1? Roughly how many marks are coming? Yes, out of 250 marks in paper 1, roughly 100 to 120. Look at that. Out of paper 1 in 250, roughly 100 to 120 marks are coming from one topic called sociological thought. What does it mean? If you are thorough with this topic, 50% or 45% of the paper 1 syllabus is complete. So that's the reason why we are picking up the very crucial topic at the present to make you a knowledge platform. So again, first question, what is thought? Are you thinking right now? Yes, sir. After 8 o'clock, whether curry will be available in the hostel or not? Where to go, sir? Come on, online students. Are you thinking anything? Yes, sir. Simultaneously, Netflix is going on. Come on, dear. What is the thought? Suppose, let me ask a question. Let me make it more interesting. A boy and girl both are walking on the street. Both are holding each other's hands. So what is your perception? What thought comes to your mind by seeing them? What could be them? What could be the relationship between them?
Might be friends, might be sisters.
Option A. Oh my God. Sir, they both are brother and sister. Very good. Option B. They may be good friends. Very nice answer came from online students. Very good, Meghna. We cannot judge by looking, sir. That is the real sociological answer. Look at what answer she is saying. We cannot judge by looking at them merely. Do you understand what I am saying? See, people have their own perceptions. What comes out is your primary perception. I repeat once again. What comes out is your primary perception. Unless you speak with them, unless you know full details about them, unless you know really who they are, you cannot judge it. But unfortunately, it is easy to judge than to think. That's the reason why most of the people are not thinking. Immediately they want to judge, but they don't want to think why those people are there at that place at that point of time. Observe the surrounding circumstances where they are there and what activity they are performing. Unless you understand that, and even after that, different people judge from different perspectives. So in a simple way to understand, Scientifically analyzing something with rationality is called as thought. You said something, I said something, she said something, but with scientific understanding, with rationality, and probably it might be true. Look at the word. Probably it might be true. So, what is the thought, sir? In the evolution of the human being, what is the difference between man and animal? Seen animal movie? Nice movie? Come on. There is an animal, chimpanzee. There is a man. What is the difference? Eat, sleep, drink, okay. Can they think? Come on, dear. Animals, can they think? Or do you think animals won't think? They will think. Definitely they'll think, dear. Oh, nice. Animals also think. Human being also think. So man is telling his thoughts in the form of communication to the other.
Express.
Yes, writing, expressing, dissemination.
Translation.
Yes. What about animal? It is thinking, but it's not in a position to disseminate it, but it is thinking. See, when there is a pet dog in your house, as soon as you enter the house, dog come to you. Is it thinking? Yes, it is thinking. Some new relative is coming to the house. It is thinking? Yes. So, what is the difference between thought of the animal or the thought of the human being, sir? Rationality, scientific analysis, and dissemination of the information. That's the basic difference. In fact, animals are more loyal than the man, than the human beings. Unfortunate. So, in the process of anthropological evolution, Homo sapien, human being, is the only category of the species which have both thinking process as well as communication, dissemination of the information. So, in the process, sir, some thoughts are going on my mind. Some thoughts are going in your mind. But why are you studying only some thoughts, sir? Because that thought created a foundation for the knowledge. That thought was not about the person, it was about the society. That thought was the culmination of circumstances in which they have gone through, and that thought helped in changing the society, as you say. That is the reason why we are studying. So many sociological thinkers are there, but why only some prominent thinkers are kept in the syllabus? Because thought becomes things, dreams become real. A thought came to your mind that you want to become an IAS officer. Now you're working towards that process, and this thought is becoming real in the future. Can you say that? You are telling yourself every day that you are idiot, you are idiot, you are idiot, you are idiot. Finally, friend is saying, no, why are you calling my name? Friend is thinking that he is even more idiot than us. See, a concept which is used, you'll be surprised. In Olympic Games, when they're training the Olympic athletes, powerful technique of the visualization in their mind. One of the best example is, so heard about USA athlete from USA, great swimmer who won so many Olympic individual medals. So when someone asked, sir, how confidently you are winning? So he said, I am practicing more in my mind rather than in the swimming pool. See, look at the belief. I am practicing more in my mind rather than in the field. What does it mean? Whatever you think, the thought is going to break you or make you. Can you become an IAS officer? Yes. So which means the powerful quote in sociology we use, you become what you think. You become what you think. So if you think you can, you are correct. If you think you cannot, either way also you are correct. It is all your mindset. It is all your mindset. So if you understand that right thought process in preparation of the exam, thought becomes belief, belief becomes attitude. It is your attitude, not your aptitude, which determines your altitude. Look at where thought is leading to. Thought is becoming belief, belief is becoming habit, habit is becoming attitude. So how you respond to an event, positive or negative, That is called as attitude. Your friend got selected in the prelims, but you did not get selected. What is your attitude? Outside, hearty congratulations. Inside, when did this fellow study? But is it the right attitude? No, I am happy that my friend got selected. I will find out from him how to get selected next time. I will also learn from him. Yes, and I will learn from my mistake. What I have done during this course of preparation. So both are there. Positive attitude is there, negative attitude is there. What is negative attitude? Blaming everybody else. On that day, somebody did not wish me in WhatsApp, or Rahu Kalam, or that institute did not teach properly, or this sir did not cover syllabus. Choice is ours. You can blame everybody else, or you can take responsibility and improve it. That is the process of thought. So, thinking process will help in evolution of attitude. That is the reason why have positive thoughts, positive attitude. If you have negative thoughts, two options are there. Try to control them or try to stop them. If better, at least try to reduce the negative thoughts as much as possible. Did you feel any time helpless in any situation in the life? Did you feel so sad? Sometimes yes. So to get out of that negative thoughts, what you have done? IPL match. Yes, watching a movie, listening to music, reading some inspirational quotes, watching Jabardast, something like that. So the UPSC process is also right thought, right attitude, right strategy. Now, so who is responsible for your success in the exam? After listening for 10 to 15 minutes of the class, who is responsible for your success in the exam? You are only responsible. See, I would say coaching, teacher, mentor, all these are only 25 to 30%. Unless and until you have right attitude, unless and until you implement what you wanted to implement, success will not come. How much ever I say, if you don't practice answer writing, nothing is going to come. Similarly, who is responsible for failure? No, sir. When success comes, we are responsible. But when failure comes, everybody else is responsible. No, wrong attitude. We are only responsible for our failure also. Seen Test movie, Netflix? So watch, very nice movie. Movie name is Test. Yes? Chuleda? Chudaloksari. So in Netflix, there is a nice inspiring movie called Test Movie. Theme of the movie is, you'll be surprised, in one line quote. Every success has a failure. Every failure has a success. Success is the ability to grow from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. ప్రతి ఓటమి వెనుక ఒక గెలుపు ఉంటుంది, ప్రతి గెలుపు వెనుక ఒక ఓటమి ఉంటుంది. కరెక్ట్. నయనతార ఫేవరెట్. ఎస్, of course Nayanthara is not important. Character in the movie is important. So what is the moral of the story? What you feel success at that point of time also has one more dimension to it. What you feel failure at that point of time also has one more dimension to it. But good attitude and positive attitude if you have, you will learn both from success as well as failure. In fact, you will learn more from failure rather than the success. At that point of time, it was a failure. But if you have right attitude, so sociology is going to create that right attitude not only toward UPSC preparation, both in life. How to take up an event that happened in a positive way so that we'll respond it in emotional stability way. So, cut short the story. Sociological thinkers and sociological thought, if you look at it, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Somebody said, reusable space vehicle is possible. That was the thought of Elon Musk. Everybody laughed at him. But look at today, what happened? So thoughts are shaping the future. Thoughts are responsible for revolution. Thoughts are responsible for destruction of the society also. Heard about terrorism? About extremism? Maoism? Naxalism? That is also thought. There are some thinkers who are supporting that ideology. Of course, we should respect their ideas. So, thought can create future. Thought can destroy the future. If thought is constructive, if thought is scientific, thought is for the welfare of everyone, then that thought is going to be helpful to the society. That's the reason why sociological thought is kept in the syllabus. To develop that right attitude toward the thought process to understand social evils. So one more easy way to understand why sociological thought is kept and what is the demand of the examiner. See, the optional subject is honors level. Honors level means, we have seen the UPSC notification in the syllabus. Before optional syllabus is started, it is mentioned the degree or the standard of the questions in the optional would be honors level. Honors level means BCom honors, BSc honors, BA honors is there. So this is something more than normal bachelor degree and something less than post graduation. The honors standard of the degree meaning something higher than the normal graduation, something less than the post graduation. So in between it is there. So in syllabus of UPSC in sociological thought also, our standards are where to stop. Everybody has so much of the material, but where to stop? So the idea is to get to know demand of the exam. So how do we know, sir? Anyway, I'm going to explain one topic also today, you'll understand. Always look at the syllabus, look at the topic, look at the micro topic. Immediately as he said, look at the previous year questions. When you look at previous year questions, dimensions of the thought which are asked in the exam will be covered. Compare, evaluate, premise, thesis, arguments, criticism. So broad template will come to know. So we have seen a topic, we have seen a micro topic, we are looking at previous year questions, we are getting all headings and subheadings of that particular topic. If you cover all the dimensions which are asked in the exam for the last 10 years, your preparation is up to honor standard. Able to follow what I am saying? So once you get an idea, how much to stop, where to stop in the process. Sir, how thoughts are simplified, sir? So one of the powerful quotes in Instagram, sociological thinker is saying, I think, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. He is saying something powerful. Everybody else is talking about that. See, Karl Marx was born somewhere in 17th century or 18th century time. But still we are discussing. Why we are discussing? His thought was so powerful that even right now society is discussing about that. Just present generation. Sociological thinker is saying, I think, therefore I am. So, but what is our generation quote? iPhone, therefore I think I am. Look at the word. 60 into 43. We want to calculate roughly. We are there, our parents are there. Who will give the answer early? Obviously parents. Why? Their thought process is faster because they are not dependent on the smartphones. Our thought process got delayed because too much dependence on the phone. Phone is becoming smarter and our brain is becoming dumber. I mean, not rationalizing it, but reality is that the more dependence on the screen, the more dependence on the smartphone, the less power of the thought we are using. Sir, what to do, sir? Don't avoid completely, but as far as possible, use it for a better manner. Can we say that? So, this is the basic frame of understanding. And one more, in anthropology, they study in detail what happened in the evolution of human beings, sir. Brain size got decreased, but the complexity of the brain got increased. So, somewhere in general science, you studied something called neurons, medulla oblongata, cerebrum. Yes, when you were born, the size of the brain. Right now, size of the brain. Any change is there? No, sir, got decreased. Will it change? In the evolution of the human beings, look at the word. Brain size got decreased, but the complexity of the brain, look at the word. Complexity of the brain got increased, which led to thought process. Example to understand how agriculture started. Some people observed Oh, during rainy season, something is coming up there. So this is called as seed. This is called as crop. So see, everybody experimented this. That thought led to the concept of agriculture. So all of us know about the story about Newton's three laws. So a thought, someone is observing a problem, someone is coming up with a solution. In the process, the revolution started. So this is brief idea about sociological thought. And look at cognitive revolution. Civilization started. What do you mean of civilization, sir? Settlement started, urbanization emerged, script emerged. People were not nomadic. People started living in one place. That was called as civilization. From there, Industrial Revolution 1.0, Industrial Revolution 2.0, 3.0, Scientific Revolution, Scientific Temper. From there, Knowledge Age, Information Age, right now, Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Age. Which means, what is happening? Thought process is changing, because of it changes are happening in the society. So that's the reason why sociological thought is kept in the syllabus. So apart from this, if you look at one more question, suppose if you become an IAS officer, what changes you want to bring in the society? Hypothetical question, but yet, come on dear, any primary goal? Why do you want to prepare for UPSC? I asked a question. Then I'm asking, if you are given a power as an IAS officer, IPS officer, what changes do you want to bring in the society?
Even more prosperous.
Corruption free. Yes, very good. Transparency in administration. Very good. What else? Sir, equality, sir. Gender equality, social equality, political equality. Oh, nice. Very good. Everybody knows the thought is positive or negative, but a few people are controlling the negative thoughts. If everybody in the society is good, if everybody has a positive thought, there is no problem of corruption, there is no problem of law and order, there is no problem of all this. But what is good, what is not so good, what is right, what is not right, what is legal, what is illegal, what is moral, what is immoral, that is the process of the socialization. When you were studying second standard, you stole some pen of your friend and came home. What is mummy's reaction? Come on, beta, very good, keep it up tomorrow. Now, what is immediately mother's reaction? No, dear, you should not do like that. You should do something right only. That is the process for the thought. So, at that time, you were a small kid, but they gave some 2-3 beatings. From that time, a thought came to our mind. What is the thought? Never and ever take something which is not ours. Are you following that right now? Yes. So after joining civil services, everybody knows that they should not take bribe. They know that thought. So in ethics, popular quote is there. In law, only when you violate something that is illegal. But in ethics, if you get the thought of doing corruption, you are already corrupt. So look at the word. Only if you take bribe, you are corrupt according to the law. Even if you get the thought of taking bribe, you are corrupt already. So what does it mean? If your thought is so strong, your character will be so strong, so you cannot be influenced by other thoughts. So that's the basic foundation why sociological thought is kept. Sir, should we follow everything that is told in the thought? Conveniently, selectively, according to the situations we have to follow. So teachers told, always speak the truth. But later when you started growing, you understood, no, according to the situation we have to tell. Boss is stupid. So telling the boss he was stupid. Should we tell? No. Boss, your decision is not clever. Not clever means what? Stupid only. But look at the way reaction for the previous thought and look at the way reaction for this. So this is the evolution of the thought. So right, in every chapter, in every subject, foundation for the subject is called a thought process. If a PSI student will study Aristotle, Plato, so many thinkers. Anthropological thought, similarly sociological thought. Which means so many people have said some things that became so powerful. It was codified. It was written over a period of time. Finally, that foundation is called as sociological thought. Now, what is considered right in one society may not be considered right in the other society. So a boy is going to a parents and saying that there is a surprise for you. He wants to marry his friend. That friend is also boy. I mean, look at the way the reaction comes from the parents. In some societies it is accepted, but in some societies it is not accepted. Definitely it's not accepted. So what does it mean? It is evolutionary mechanism in the process. Karl Marx, Max Weber, Durkheim, Merton, whoever is there in the thinkers, prominent are only 4 or 5. So all their understandings of the society, of their circumstances, that is called as sociological thought. Whenever you do any sociological thinker, first try to understand the circumstances in which he was brought up. Why, sir? Why should we know? Why should we know about circumstances in which a person was brought up? Why you are not doing crime? Why I am not doing crime? Do you have any criminal mind? No, sir. Till selection, no criminal mind, sir. Parents, peers, family, all of us are getting our basic needs satisfied. So even though criminal thoughts are there, but we are not doing criminal things. So a person is stealing, don't look at only the stealing, but also understand social circumstances in which the person is stealing. If you just punish, the problem will not be solved. Try to understand the circumstances in which that person is doing and try to provide holistic solution for that. So that is the reason why sociological thought is kept in the syllabus. So simply, we banned begging. Does it mean that beggars will not be there? We banned begging. Does it mean that beggars will not be there? Everybody is a beggar in its own way. Somebody is begging job, somebody is begging phone number, somebody is begging friend request, somebody is begging heart symbol. But okay. So look at the word, look at the way we react. See in Gangubai Kathiawadi? Yes. See, look at the way society's attitude towards something. So one of the popular thinkers, we'll start with Karl Marx only. So before we go to any thinker, first we should try to understand rough idea about his circumstances. His personal life and personal details are not important for exam. Roughly the circumstances in which he was brought up and some background about him so that you will get a full clarity of the thought that he has given. Suppose someone is selling a doll in the market, Buddha holding AK-47. Now, I'll look at no controversies, but look at someone is manufacturing a doll. That doll is Buddha holding AK-47. Now, what thought comes to your mind? Sir, Buddha is known for peace, sir. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. How can Buddha hold AK-47, sir? Correct? So that thought process is created in our mind. Buddha will never encourage violence. Buddha will not take up the war. Correct? So this is the process of formulating the ideas. So Karl Marx also observed some exploitation. Actually, he was born in Prussia. At the time it was called as Prussia. Right now it is called as Germany. So his father was a lawyer. He was seeing the exploitation that was happening in the society. What was the exploitation at that time in 18th century, 19th century, before that in Europe was? In society, there were some masters and there were slaves. Which means those have the control of the tools, those have the control of the method of the production. I'm going to explain in detail later. So they were called as masters. Those working for them is called as slaves. So he was questioning why a slave's life is like that only. Why slave children are not getting good basic needs. So in that circumstances, Karl Marx was brought up. Sir, why I'm explaining this? His idea of communism is revolutionary because he observed so many evils in the society at that time. From that evils, he thought the solution also. He's not only telling the problem, he's also telling the solution and the process to achieve the solution also. That's what I said. Every sociological thinker, the thought process came to their mind. They observed some evil in the society. They thought on their own and they came up with this could be the possible solution. But all the thoughts may not become real. All the thoughts may not provide solutions for us. So perhaps some basic ideology about Karl Marx. So he has written some books. So in 10th standard somewhere we cover, remember, Das Kapital. So Communist Manifesto. So don't worry. So I'll be sharing PDF and PPT also. But wherever possible, try to take running notes. So in this Communist Manifesto, Das Kapital, he gave certain concepts. The concepts of historical materialism, concept of labor theory, concept of alienation, and he talked about some religion, briefly covering all his thoughts as called as Karl Marx in sociological thought. But he also gave so many references to economy. He also gave so many references to polity. He also gave so many references to administration. So he studied in all the subjects. But the dimension would be different. So why Karl Marx is studied even right now? His thought is so powerful. We have been trying to implement, but in the process, we could not achieve what he thought, but we are getting different dimensions of his thought. So how, sir? We are going to understand. Again, so Karl Marx believes he understands the society from two dimensions. So first of all, what is society, sir? Group of people living together with some common rules and regulations for the welfare of all of them. That is called as society. Should we follow traffic rules? Come on, dear. Why should we follow traffic rules? Why should we follow? Let's just say that there are no traffic signals. How nice it would be. Why? Okay, so we understood certain things from the society. What is society? Friends, family, school, college, kinship, PS. That is only called a society. What is good society? Good students, good teachers, good family is good nation. Correct only? But still, why there are some criminals in the society? Expected behavior of the society and the real behavior. What is the meaning of this society, sir? Some external collective consciousness is trying to control our behavior, is shaping our thought, is creating our belief system, that is called a society. Easy way to understand what is society. You went to a temple. Everybody is doing meditation in the temple and doing bhajans in the temple. Now you want to play a song, ring a song, and you want to dance. Let's say by mistake your phone started ringing and that ringtone is antava mama in the temple. Now what is everybody's reaction? You should not have come to temple, dear. You should have gone to some pub bar, some club bar, some bar and restaurant. A person has gone to a bar and restaurant there who is doing meditation by chanting slokas. Correct. So what is the reaction? So what is society? Something external is influencing our behavior, our thought process. That is called as society. Who is there in society? People are there, groups are there, resources are there. So overall, technical definition we are not covering. Easy, normal circumstances only we are covering. So he says, society will change. Look at the word. Because of conflict. And he says, society is not static. Society is dynamic. Two words. So he is looking at the society, he is observing the society in which he was there in Germany at that time. So many changes are happening. Means society is not constant, it is dynamic. How change is happening, sir? Because of conflict. Why conflict is happening? How conflict will happen? I am going to explain all these concepts. One more premise or one more perspective of the Karl Marx at that time was all the changes in the society will happen because of change in material wealth. So Karl Marx popular quote, there are only two types of people in the world, haves and have-nots. So he is looking at society from two dimensions. One, it is dynamic, it is constantly changing. Change is happening through conflict. Second, why conflict is happening, sir? Because of materialism. What is materialism, sir? Change in the creation of the material wealth is called as materialism. So, Karl Marx's perspective of the society is to, one, it is dynamic. It is change is happening. Why change is happening, sir? Through conflict. What is the reason for the conflict? Materialism. What is the meaning of materialism, sir? See, look at in India right now, diverse cases are increasing. One of the reasons why diverse cases are increasing is financial independence is growing on the urbanization. And in fact, you'll be surprised, they have money, they have power, they have resources, but because of more material wealth, family values is getting degenerated. So materialism is a concept which says change in the production of the goods and services is called as materialism. Now look at, before we go to Karl Marx thinking process, we are trying to understand basic concepts, because I want to explain historical materialism today. But to understand historical materialism, certain terms we need to know. First, we understood what is societies and what is the dimension of Karl Marx from society. See, only constant, what is constant in life? Change is the constant thing. Because continuously, society was there earlier, society is there now. Is there any change in you from the day you came to Ashok Nagar and right now? Yes, sir. Earlier you were very innocent, sir, decent, sir. Now you became radical, sir. Will there be any change in you after taking sales services coaching and before sales services coaching? So how change can happen? In what ways change can happen? The way you behave, the way you dress, the way you think, the way you react, the way you communicate, definitely change will happen. So he is observing two changes in the society. What are the two changes, sir? He broadly calls this materialism concept into two concepts. So what is this materialism change that Karl Marx is observing? He is observing this through two premises. I'll explain with practical examples, don't worry. Economic infrastructure. Look at the word. Economic infrastructure. And he also uses the word social superstructure. I'll explain practical example, we'll understand. So look at the word. Karl Marx says society is not constant, society is dynamic, it keeps on changing. Sir, why, sir? Conflict is happening. Why conflict is happening, sir? Because of materialism. What is materialism? He is trying to explain through this concept called as historical materialism. Before we go there, he gives two concepts: economic infrastructure, social superstructure. Sir, what is the meaning of economic infrastructure, sir? Change in the method of the production, change in the forces of the production, change in the relationship of the production. In simple, change in economic factors. What is the meaning of economic factors? Method of production will create change in the material wealth. How do we understand this, sir? See, example to understand. Initially, how man was producing crops in agriculture. Very primitive tools were used. What happened to the production of the goods and services? Were very restricted, limited. But as the tools got sophisticated, what happened to the production? Surplus started. Can we see that? So all the economic factors, method of production, forces the production, relationship of the production, I'm going to explain. All of them I'm going to explain come under economic infrastructure. In simple, how the material is used, how wealth is generated. Use of the material, use of the resources, use of natural resources to create the wealth. This process comes under economic infrastructure. What is social superstructure, sir? All other social factors. What is social factors, sir? Religion, culture, worship. So these are called as social superstructure. Now, look at the thought that Karl Marx is saying. Interesting thought. there is interplay. So small deviation to understand Karl Marx in holistically, there is something called dialectics. So he was influenced by this idea called as dialectics. What do you mean of dialectics, sir? So dialectics is a concept which is used in philosophy, which says there is one thought, there is opposite thought. In the process, new thought emerged. This is called as dialectics. Means there is one idea, there is an opposite idea. In the process of interlinking and interplay, some new idea came. So a practical example to understand dialectics. There is an idea. Economic growth is important. We have to use urbanization. We have to go for industrialization. We have to improve material wealth. This is one thought. Opposite thought. What is the opposite thought? Environmental conservation is important. In the name of the economic growth, we should not destroy the environment. The resources given today are not just for you, even for future generations also. So one thought, economic growth is important, industrialization is important, urbanization is important. Opposite thought, conservation of nature is important, we should not go against the nature. By combining both, a concept called sustainable development. So what is sustainable development here? Economic development is important. At the same time, conservation of nature is also important. So dialectics is a concept which is used in philosophy, where because of the influence of the thoughts and the opposite thoughts, new thoughts will come. In simple, ideas, opposite ideas, when both are combined, some new innovative idea will come. This new innovative idea is a change. Why are you moving towards electric vehicles, sir? What is the reason why are you moving towards electric vehicles? So thought. What is the thought? Mobility is important. What is the opposite thought? Clean environment is also important. So new idea called electric vehicle. So what does it mean? Of course, every idea has its own positives and negatives. Opposite idea also has positives and negatives. Take the best from both and try to arrive a solution. So this is concept of dialectics. Of course, Karl Marx used this dialectics to explain the society from conflict perspective. What is the meaning of conflict? Two opposite ideas. Same theory he has taken in his concept of historical materialism. We need not go into much into the concept of dialectics, but if you just understand, in the process of idea and the opposite idea, the evolutionary process, new ideas will come. Thought versus thought. So in simple, thesis, antithesis, synthesis will come. So thesis, some idea, antithesis, opposite idea, combining both, new idea will come. That is called as synthesis. Why explain this? If you have understood this is the foundation for the entire concept of historical materialism. Now just to understand, to make things clear even more, I said something. Change in the method of production, change in the forces of the production, change in the relationship of the production, all this come under the concept of materialism. Now how this materialism is understood before we proceed with this. This materialism, as I said, look at the word. It has two aspects. One aspect, what Karl Marx is saying, how change will come in the society? Because of change in materialism. What is the change that he is talking about? What is materialism? Use of natural resources and production of material wealth. So he is talking about the change in the society. What change that he is talking about, sir? Two types of changes. What are the two types of changes, sir? One, relationship between man and material. What is the meaning of material? Natural resources. Second, he is talking about very important change that he is observing, man versus man relationship. So look at it. Materialism means change in the method of the production. MOP. What is the change in the method of production? Simple answer, change in the tools which are used in the process of the production. How earlier sweets were produced, mostly grandmother used to make at home. That was the method of the production. Now what is happening? Automatic. So many machines are there. Kitchen robots also are there now. Kitchen robots also are there. So method of production, factors of production, relations of production. So all of you know land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, factors of production. So whenever we use the word materialism, Karl Marx was observing during his time, in his contemporary times in Prussia, change in these two. Look at the change. Man versus material, man versus man. When he is observing man versus man, he identified material wealth is there in some, only in the hands of some people. Material wealth is not there in the hands of majority of the people in the society. That's the reason why he says conflict will happen. Why conflict is happening, sir? More wealth in the hands of some people, very less wealth in the hands of some people. So conflict will happen, change will happen. This change only is called as materialism. So in a simplest form, to understand what is meaning of materialism, when there is a change in the method of production in the evolutionary process, that results in the material wealth, which is bringing the change in two things. Look at it. Now you'll understand. Concept of materialism is, in theory, it appears that change in the method of the production, change in the force of the production, change in the relationship of the production is bringing so many changes. Change in economic structure. Look at the word. Economic infrastructure. What is economic infrastructure, sir? Just now we said, change the method of the production, change the relationship of the production. So also, if you look at, now let me simplify. Karl Marx says, economic changes in the society will bring social changes in the society. Look at the two words. So in a simplified diagram, how economic change is happening, sir? Change in the method of the production. So this change in the economic factors is bringing social change. And interesting, social change or social structure is helping in maintaining economic infrastructure. How, sir? I'll give a practical example, you'll understand. So let me summarize the concept of materialism. We did not go to historical materialism. I'm just explaining all the terms related to materialism. What is dialectics? What is the idea of dialectics? Yes, one thinker and the other thinker both are discussing, in the process new thought is coming. That is called as dialectics. So what is called as materialism? According to Karl Marx, society is static or society is dynamic? Society is dynamic. So how change is happening in the society? Through conflict. Very good. So why this conflict will happen? Because of materialism. What is materialism? Generation of material wealth. So where change is happening because of materialism? Two types of relationship. What is relationship? Man versus material. Meaning, whether man is going against the nature, man is trying to control the nature, whether man is using the resources properly or not. This is one dimension. Then human relationship, man versus man, worker, owner. So this is the concept of materialism. And two more, just now I said, economic structure will bring corresponding changes in the social change. So this social change is called as superstructure. And look at the word. The fundamental change in the method of the production is called as economic structure. For example, to understand, because of COVID-19, do you think that family relationship became stronger? How COVID-19 impacted the method of the production? Come on, madam. Come on, sir. What did you do during COVID-19 time? Don't know, sir. We are not in India, sir. They used to go to office, but majority of the companies have given work from home. So there is a change in the method of working? No. Earlier, husband and wife both used to go to office. So there were less fights in the home. Now they both are at home. I mean, both are there. Positives are there, negatives are there. What is the change that we observed? More time for each other. Can we say that? And only during this time, Indians prayed for the welfare of their neighbor. మనం బాగుండాలి, పక్కింటోళ్ళు బాగుండాలి. ఎందుకు? వాళ్ళ కోవిడ్ వస్తే మనకు కోవిడ్ వస్తుంది కాబట్టి. కోవిడ్ అయిన తర్వాత ఏంటి? ఓ మంచి దేవుడా, తినడానికి తిండినిచ్చావు, నవ్వుకోవడానికి క్లాస్నిచ్చావు, నా రోల్ నెంబర్ మాత్రమే ఉండాలి కానీ మిగతా రోల్ నెంబర్ ఉండకూడదు. సో 2 changes are happening. There is a change in the method of the production. Social change, positive change also happened, negative change also happened. What is the negative change? Domestic violence increased, fights got increased, correct? Frustration on each other. Of course, positive is there, negative is there. One more example to understand economic structure and superstructure. Have you heard about artificial intelligence and robotics? What is artificial intelligence? Less use of human resource, more use of machines. Can we say that? So earlier, so many departments in the IT were based on the human resource. Now so many divisions are replaced by artificial intelligence. So there is a change in the method of the production. Corresponding change is happening in social, super. So basis of the change in the middle is economic infrastructure. It's like a foundation. These are corresponding changes. To understand with one more live example, right now when you go to any function of any relatives, are you being respected? Are you being treated special? No. After clean civil services, you are going in Government of India's vehicle to a function. What happened to social status? What happened to social status? Person was same. In fact, you are a clever person before itself. But what is the change? Economic status is the change. Lucky Bhaskar movie in simple. Correct only? So what is the one line, powerful line of Lucky Bhaskar movie? వస్తువు కొనుక్కోవాలంటే డబ్బులు ఉండాలి, ఇండియాలో మర్యాద కావాలంటే డబ్బు ఒంటి మీద కనపడాలి. ట్రూ. సో ఏ ఫంక్షన్కి వెళ్ళినా సరే, why do we want to display gold to others? Economic status. Why you want to go in a car which is much bigger than our relatives? To prove our economic status is more than their status. Some of you told power, economic as well as social power. You want to get economic power, you want to get social power. If this is change, correspondingly change will happen in the society. See, you are getting good quality education, you are getting good quality environment, you are getting good quality of all the basic needs because your parents are in good economic condition. Can we say that? If we get selected for civil services, 3 generations economic structure is taken care of. Sir, whom you are talking about, sir? Parents also, yourself also, future generations also. Of course, whether what they do with that, that is not in our hand. But whatever we are today, it is because of the economic condition of the parents. That's the reason why we are in a good condition. So again, one more recent example to understand. Recently, a girl married herself. అమ్మాయి తనను తానే పెళ్లి చేసుకుంది, తనను తానే తాళగట్టింది. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ అగోరి, దట్ ఈస్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ కంటెస్ట్. సో ఏ గర్ల్ మ్యారీడ్ హర్ సెల్ఫ్, జీజ్ కల్లా సోలోగమి. అమ్మాయి తనను తానే తాళగట్టుకుంది. సమ్మన్ ఆస్డ్, అదేంటమ్మా మన ఇండియాలో ఉన్నాం, వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ రియాక్షన్, వై డూ థింక్? సో షీ సెయింగ్ దట్ why do you want to get married to yourself? So why this particular change? What is her reaction? Interesting. I am earning, I am financially not dependent on anyone, economically I am stronger, I don't need any support. See, look at the answer. So see, understanding the relationship from economic dependence. Of course, every relationship is not only about economic dependence. So there is a change in the method of the production, there is a change in the forces of the production, there is a change in the relationship of the production. Material change is visible in economic structure, social change is visible in social structure. See, this is popular Indian society. You will be respected only when they feel that you are equal to them or more than them. Naturally, nobody respecting our talent, nobody respecting our character, nobody respecting our virtues. No. If they feel we are economically equal to them or more than them, then the respect will come automatically. Yes? So remember all the relatives, write down their 4 numbers, and after clearing civil services, we have to show them our change in economic structure to bring change in their social behavior. And you have to give feedbacks to them and tell, on that day, remember what you told. Because of you only I cleared civil services. Yes? Because society is reacting to a same situation in a different way. When you said you want to prepare for civil services, different people reacted in a different way. So, just basic premise of Karl Marx of materialism. Now concept, the actual concept of historical materialism. Up to this all clear? Online students, are you there? So we summarized what is thought, what is sociological thought, why sociological thought is kept in the syllabus, and I give certain concepts: society, dialectics, method of the production, forces the production, relationship of the production, and so on. Conflict, society is dynamic, something like that. Now the real concept from which regularly every year question is coming. At least 10 marks question will come or 20 marks question will come. Meaning if you're thorough with this concept, one question is guaranteed. Maybe 15 marks, maybe 20 marks. What is the concept of this historical materialism, sir? See, Karl Marx has written a book, the value addition part. Everybody will write same concepts to get extra marks, whatever the work done by the sociological thinker. So which means this concept is mentioned in a book by Karl Marx. So we are just roughly mentioning that also, you will get extra mark because you are doing extra effort. So the book name is actually Contribution to Critique of Political Economy. Contribution to Critique of Political Economy. So this is the book written by Karl Marx. In this book, he gave the concept of historical materialism. So what is this historical materialism, sir? Now we know what is dialectics. Now we know what is method of production. By using the dialectic concept only, explain this historical materialism. In dialectics, what happens? Idea versus idea. But Karl Marx uses this to explain the change in the history through conflict. And he'll come up with a concept called class. What is class, sir? I'm going to explain in next class in detail about class struggle. But here try to understand socio-economic status of a person which can be changed with the self-effort which is not fixed at the time of the birth is called as class. Your family belongs to upper class or middle class or lower class? Compared to whom? Yes, your family is rich class compared to a poor family. So class for the Marx is relationship with the wealth, haves and have-nots. So tomorrow we are going to cover class in itself, class for itself, class consciousness, all that. Here only roughly I am giving an idea what is called as class. So suppose in India, parents are searching for a match for a girl. అమ్మాయి పెళ్లి సంబంధం చూస్తున్నారు. What is important? Caste is important or class is important? So when parents of a girl are searching for a match, what is given importance? Caste or class or both? Both. Indian society is caste conscious as well as class conscious. What is caste? Social identity given by the society at the time of the birth. Can you change it? No. Can grandfather change it? Maybe in certificate if they were thinking. So caste is given by birth Social identity given by the purity concept which we are going to cover later. Class can be changed any time. Whereas caste is social hierarchy given by the Indian society. Can we say that? Details we are going to cover later. I'm just explaining this to understand historical materialism. So which of the following statements are correct? Statement 1. Caste is ascribed at the time of birth. Class is achieved by the individual. Both are correct. Caste is ascribed at the time of the birth. ASCRIBD. Ascribed means it is given by the society. Class is achieved. Both caste and class can be changed anytime. Class can be changed, but not caste. Up to this, okay? Now come to the concept of historical materialism. What is that Karl Marx talks about historical materialism, sir? Very simple concept. In the societies, as we said, in the societies, materialism. Whenever there is a change through materialism, what is materialism? Change in the method of production. Changes are happening and that change is being resulted in conflict. So in the process of conflict, new society is getting evolved. So look at very simple one-line flowchart diagram to understand. Society is dynamic. That's what Karl Marx said. What is meaning of dynamic? Keeps on changing. What is the primary force for the change? Materialism. What is materialism? Production of wealth. And what change is happening? Man versus material change is also happening. Man versus man is also change is happening. In the process, conflict is getting created. That is leading to change. So society is continuously evolving. So Karl Marx says, history hitherto is a class struggle between haves and have-nots. So he says, look at the word, look at the statement. History hitherto is a class struggle, which means he is studying the entire history from two dimensions. One, class struggle, and he is studying the change is happening because of change in economic structure. Just now we covered what is materialism. Change in economic structure will bring change in social structure. Entire history he is studying only from this dimension. Why World War I happened? Why World War II happened? Why British colonized India? Economic, material wealth. So change in the material wealth is correspondingly leading to conflict. That conflict only is called a struggle. Why, sir? Haves and have-nots are struggling with each other. In the process, change is happening. In simple, why did we ask independence from British? To get economic sovereignty on our own resources. Who are you to use our resources? We should use our resources by ourselves. We were under dominion status. What do you mean of dominion status? No idea? Self-rule was given, but still sovereignty was not there for us. Still we were under crown. But before that, we were under crown rule. Before that, we were under East India Company rule. So why did we fight for independence? Who are you to use our economic resources? We should use our own economic resource for our welfare. Yes? So don't look at always the class here between rich and poor. It is understood in the relative sense. Now how, sir? So because dialectics, what is dialectics? Two opposites. The two opposites only are referred here as classes. Should there be women reservation? Should there be women reservation in India? There are two classes in the Indian society whose support is one class, who does not support the other class. Yes? Again, do you think that optional should be there in UPSC? Again, two opposite ideas. So don't understand class only from this, but for Marx, look at, for Marx, class is mainly from economic perspective. Because I said, he was not happy with the way the working class the laborer class was living in around his house. So he was not happy with the people who were working as laborers and their socio-economic conditions. He said, can't we change their socio-economic status? How can we change? What can we suggest? So this is the premise in which Karl Marx said, society is dynamic, society is continuously evolving. This change will happen because of change in the material. So history is understood from the material perspective. That's why that is called as historical materialism. Sir, what is history, sir? What is history? You deleted history yesterday in the phone? No, sir. Not all history, only words of history. So what is history? Something happened in the past which you feel as relevant is called as history. His story. Whose story? Man's story. With whom? With women? No, in the past. So many things have happened in the past. So that event we are studying right now, that is called as history. How history is understood? From material wealth. That's why the concept called as historical materialism. See, one of the writers is saying, war happened because of imperialism. He is understanding from politics and power. So Karl Marx is understanding the history from material wealth dimension and economic dimension. That's the reason why this concept is called as historical materialism. Sir, you said class struggle. What is the meaning of this class struggle, sir? Two dimensions. Those who support, those who don't support. What is this here? Those who have material wealth, those who don't have material wealth. Two opposite classes are there. He identifies, interestingly, in every society two opposite classes because of which conflict will happen and change is happening. See, look at, there is a change in materialism, conflict. In conflict only two opposite classes are there. In the process, new society is getting emerged. So entire historical materialism can be summarized in a single tabular form where he himself identifies various types of societies. So one of the societies is called as primitive communism. Meaning, what is historical materialism, sir? Right from ancient time, before the evolution of the human being or from the evolution of the human being, till recently entire history is divided into different societies. So one of the earliest way was primitive communism. I'm going to explain in detail about communism toward the end. But whenever a sociology optional student reads a word called communism, he should remember 2 points. What are the 2 points, sir? Classless society. What do you mean of classless society, sir? No differences called rich and poor. Apart from that, there is no differences at all. So no differences, no class. So in the sense that all are enlightened, all are equal, all are going for redistribution, all are helping each other, that idealistic, look at the word, that idealistic, utopian, stateless, classless state is called as communism. I'm going to explain toward the end full story about communism. But look at the word, primitive communism. Now what is the meaning of the word primitive, sir? In history you'll study Indus Valley civilization, Chalcolithic, Neolithic, all that. So first, when man identified the instruments, so how initially man and woman were there? How initially man and woman were doing economic activities? No economic activities at all. What is economic activity? Coming to the class, is it economic activity? Come on, dear. Definitely it is economic activity. Return is not going to come now. Return is going to come in the future. So your friend is coughing in the class. You are giving a water bottle. Is it economic activity? No. Why, sir? No return. You are not going to get anything right now. As a human being, you are giving. What is primitive? Everybody was a nomadic. Simply, people were roaming from one place to other place. And in the process, whatever is available, they were eating. Eat, sleep, repeat. Eat, sleep, repeat. That was the concept of the society. No prelims, no mains, no optional, nothing to worry. No rich, no poor. So look at the word. What did I say? Communism. What is the future of communism? No classes. why no classes in primitive society? No wealth. Why no wealth?
Nomadic.
People were nomadic, simply roam. That's all. So look at the word. So in primitive society, what happened, sir? No class, no tools were used. So people were just happy with whatever nature was providing to them. Just eat, sleep, repeat. This was the society in which Karl Marx identifies classes are not there. Why classes are not there, sir? Rich and poor is not there. Why rich and poor is not there? Wealth is not there. Why wealth is not there? Materialism did not happen. What is materialism? Production of goods and services is called as materialism. Man was not producing anything. Man was taking whatever is available in the nature. That's all. Suppose he is feeling hungry. Some fruit was available. He was just happy with that. He is not doing agriculture. He is not doing domestication. He did not find any tools. He was just happy with whatever available in the nature. You are also equal. I am also equal. Friend is also equal. No rich, no poor, no politician, nothing. So this concept is called as primitive communism. Initially, there were only two people, Adam and Eve. They were happily living in a primitive communism, which means there is no concept of comparison, no concept of inequality, no concept of discrimination. This type of society was called as primitive communism. Then what Marx says, as human brain, I said something, how the thought got evolved. Human brain size got decreased, brain thinking power got increased. Through this thinking complexity of the brain, new ideas came. With these new ideas, he himself identifies next history. Look at the entire history is studying from this materialism. So what is the status of materialism in primitive community? No surplus. Why no surplus? Because production only did not happen. Where the concept of surplus? He'll be studying a concept called barter system. Remember? Why there was no need for barter system in primitive communities? Because there was no concept of surplus. Because there is no concept of production at all. Whatever is available in the nature only we are eating. That's all. Next he'll identify ancient mode of the production. Which means he himself says in the history from this society, next level he is identifying ancient mode of production. So look at the word. Next level of society is ancient mode of production. Our society name itself he calls it as ancient mode. Now look at the word. So all of us study in history. You'll study different types of potware. You'll study different type of archaeological evidences, terracotta replica, all that. So which is the first metal that was used in Indus Valley civilization? Some metal. I also don't know, but some metal. It's okay. Some instruments were used. Sir, what happened in the ancient mode of production? Marx explains. Look at the word. Somebody's thinking process was so sharp, so they identified certain tools to produce. They started identifying rocks. They started identifying branches. They started identifying agriculture. They started identifying the animal and the domestication. That is called as tools of the production. So those who have tools, those who identified the tools, they became masters because they know how to make the tools, they know how to use the tools. But those who do not have any idea about the tools, look at the word, those who do not have any tools, they became dependent on these people. That dependent people only became workers for these masters. So two classes got emerged. So look at the word. Karl Marx explained the entire history through two classes. Class struggle. One class is fighting with other class. Why there was no class struggle in primitive community? Because no material wealth, no surplus wealth. But why struggle started in ancient mode of the production? Because who mastered the tools, who mastered the sophisticated equipment, concentration of wealth started. Production of the surplus started. Surplus was with whom? Masters. So the slaves who were working for the master was not getting sufficient. only subsistence was paid for them. What do you mean of subsistence? Just for their satisfying basic need. So over a period of time, look at the word, change in the economic structure will bring change in the social structure. Who was respected more in the society, master or the slave? So slave got realized, I am not being respected. Why I am not being respected? Because wealth is there with whom? Master. But who are the people who are working more? Slaves. So class struggle happened. In the process, slaves told to the master, no, I won't accept. I will not work in you. I will not work for you. I also want some ownership of the land. I also want some ownership of the method. I also want some ownership of the resources. So in the process, look at it. This is one part of the history. This is next part of the history, conflict. This conflict between these two classes led to new society. So next is studying one more concept. That concept is called as feudalism. Look at the word. Next society, Karl Marx is looking from feudalist perspective. So I said something. So who are the people who are fighting in ancient mode of production? Masters and slaves. So I said dialectics. What is dialectics? Idea, opposite idea, new idea will come. So that idea marks applied for classes. One class versus opposite class. In the process, new thing will emerge. What do the slaves demand from these masters? I also want some ownership. So next feudalistic society, what happened, sir? It's okay. We will give some ownership to you, but whatever you produce, you have to share with us also. So in feudalistic society, what happened? The landlords called feudalist or feudal landlords, they were the owners of the land. They started sharing some of the land to this slave who was fighting with the master. They were called as serf in European language. So some land was given to the serf. Whatever is produced in this land, something he has to pay to the landlord. But still, full land ownership is not under control of feudal landlord. Why, sir? Because slaves felt they are not having anything on their own, they want something. The conflict between these two led to new class, feudal, landlord, serf. Some part of the land is given to them. They're interesting. They're working on their own land also. They're working on feudal lands also, landlords' land also. Whatever they're producing on feudal landlords, that is for the feudals. But whatever they're producing on their land, something for them, something they have to share with landlord also. Again, what are the two classes which are there in this society? Feudalist, the landlord, and the serf. So same thing, the concept of Karl Marx, conflict. So this conflict between the two, serf realized over a period of time, these fellows are collecting taxes, these fellows are collecting resources, these fellows are collecting more than what they're supposed to. In the process, we are not getting justice. So in the process, again conflict will happen. So this conflict will bring change in the method of the production. And one more concept of new society got evolved. That new society, Karl Marx considers it as capitalistic society. Two more are there in the box, socialism and communism. I'm going to cover it. But look at it. Karl Marx is explaining history from materialism perspective and conflict perspective. One, materialism, conflict. Materialism, conflict. Materialism, conflict. That's why that is called as historical materialism. Now, who is a capitalist? What is the ideology of capitalism? Profit is the motto. Full market economy. We use the word. But what is Karl Marx ideology of capitalism? Similar to that only. The investor, the industrialist, owner is called as capitalist. Investor only, one who invests the capital. So what is the capital that you are investing for UPSC? Time, resources, money, effort, energy. So in the process, what happened? The serf, which became worker for the investor or the industrialist, was called as working class. Again, look at the word. Two classes emerged. One is industrialist, one is working class. But interesting change happened in capitalism. What is the interesting change? In feudalism, labor was forced, labor was bonded. Look at the word. Labor was forceful, labor was bonded. From there, freedom to sell the labor is given in the capitalistic society. Look at the word. Freedom to sell the labor. What does it mean? If you want to work, we will pay for you. But we are not forcing you to work. Need to understand what I am saying? What is the basic change in serf and working class? Sir, in serf, labor was forced upon him by the landlord. But in capitalistic society, working class has freedom to sell their labor. If you work for 8 hours, we'll pay for 8 hours. If you work for 2 hours, we'll pay for 2 hours. So in capitalistic society, look at the word. Karl Marx says, haves are becoming more and more rich. Have-nots are becoming poorer and poorer because redistribution is not happening. So again conflict happened between industrialist and working class. But interesting, he used a certain word, bourgeois and proletariat. So the industrialist in Karl Marx language, they use the word bourgeois. So okay, try to get correct spelling by the time you write mains exam. So working class is called as proletariat. The industrialist class is called as bourgeois. So industrialist, of course, when he is writing you that word, if you remember exact, you can quote. If you don't remember, that's fine. So there are two classes. One is capitalist or industrialist. One is working class. The struggle started. Now here, his ideas are even relevant because he gives something out of the box, which nobody else thought. That's the reason why his thought is relevant even right now. What is his idea, sir? He says, because of this conflict, the society will become interesting. Socialist society. So look at it. Directly we are not jumping into capitalistic communist society. So evolutionary mechanism means it's continuous from capitalism. So because of conflict, capitalist society will get converted into socialistic society. Now interesting. Before this class, if somebody asks the difference between socialism and communism, your answer may not be true. But after this class, you should give a valid, justified answer. What is socialism? What is communism? Now look at it. According to Karl Marx, why conflict is happening in the capitalistic society? Why there is a fight? Why there is a rivalry between bourgeois and proletariat? Concentration of wealth in the hands of bourgeois. Of course, they're selling their labor, but justified wages are not paid for the labor. What do you mean of justified? According to their work, according to their capacity, what they're supposed to get, they're not getting. So because of which, in the process, this proletariat, interesting, he says, what this proletariat have to do, take over the resources from the bourgeois. Interesting, he says, dictatorship of proletariat. Dictatorship of proletariat. Which means who will take over all the resources available in the society? Proletariat will take over. Proletariat means working class. An interesting concept in socialism. No private ownership. Look at the word. No private ownership. What do you mean of no private ownership, sir? This is not your house. This is not my house. This is our house. This bus belongs to us. If bus belongs to us, why should we pay for them? Belongs to us only, but on behalf of us, government is maintaining. Look at it. The capitalism, from there the conflict started. And interesting, in socialism, everybody the owner. That's the reason why there is no need for the class struggle. So no class. Look at the word. No class. However, on behalf of all of them, proletariat collectively are owning the resources. Sir, why no class in socialism, sir? Because no rich, no poor. Why no rich, no poor, sir? Because no private property. When class will exist? In private property and private ownership exist, only class will exist. Sir, all this story is okay. But what Karl Marx thought? He did not stop with this. He gave one more radical ideology. Interesting, which never happened at all. I am saying, which never happened at all. That's why I said, before this class, your perception about communism. After this class, Karl Marx's perception about communism. See, Karl Marx went one step ahead and said, in communist society, interesting, no class. However, the proletariat will voluntarily renounce the dictatorship. What does it mean? In socialism, no class accepted, no private ownership accepted. All are taking the decisions on behalf of all. So in the process, everybody get enlightened. All are following rules and regulations. All become very good people. So in the process, dictatorship of proletariat is not required. Meaning, there will not be anyone. They will only voluntarily will provide. And interesting, there is no need for anyone to control anyone, because all are enlightened, all are good people, all are following ideals. That's the reason why an idealistic utopian society, in which, important point, not only class is there, state also is not required. So no class, along with that no state. This is the important difference between socialism and communism, which Karl Marx dreamt of. Look at the word. Up to this is okay. But next level, he feels, sir, why is proletariat is renouncing his power? He's enlightened. He's much beyond than the power. He feels no one to control, no need to control. All are good people. So finally, he says, at present, he says, means when he was writing this story, society was at capitalistic society. So when Karl Marx was writing this theorem called historical materialism, he says, the society was at where? Capitalistic society. So conflict is there. What is the conflict? Bourgeois and proletariat, rich and poor. The change is yet to come in the society. The change is, the next step is socialism. Next step is communism. And interesting, he does not stop there. He'll go to one more level. Finally, he'll say, if everybody is equal, if everybody is powerful, if everybody is enlightened, if there is no state, that is the end of the history. Then history syllabus will not be there. So look at the word. He started with history, and he is thinking that history will end with finally with this idealistic state called communist society. Able to follow? The core concept is the difference between socialism and communism according to Karl Marx. What we study in polity, social, what we study in normal circumstances, communism. That's why a question came, direct question came. Communism dreamt by Karl Marx, which never happened, and the communist countries which we are seeing are not following communism. See, look at the careful wording of the question. Communism, Karl Marx dreamt, never happened, and the communist countries' policies are not the actual communist ideology of the Karl Marx. But idea is taken from Karl Marx. Okay? So this entire table will summarize the concept of historical materialism. So whenever we cover any micro topic, just try to make a rough diagram to convey to the examiner, I know everything, but because word limit is there, I am telling through diagram. So this is the concept of historical materialism. Just to summarize, what all we covered? So we covered why thought came. First of all, thought came that you should come to sociology class today. Then we came to the class. After that, we started the concept of sociological thought. Then I gave the premise in which we need to understand. Micro topic is just now historical materialism. Some terms related to it: dialectics, class, struggle, conflict, method of production, relationship of production. After that, in one line answer, Karl Marx used dialectics through class struggle to explain the history, that is called as historical materialism. Correct? So, previous question came. Discuss the concept of historical materialism. Direct question, 15 marks. Now, it depends upon the examiner. He wanted to test whether you know only theory or whether you understood or not. He added one more sub question. What are the sub questions, sir? Discuss the relevance of historical materialism to the present days. Just think and tell. Some issue is going on about, now why do every country in the world fear America? What is the reason? Of course, Trump is doing so many nonsense things, that is different thing. Why every country is afraid of America? What is the reason? Very good. Economic power influences all other powers. Yes? India was not respected once upon a time, but they're giving respect to us, they're inviting us. All this why economically we are becoming powerful. But tariff war, nothing but struggle only. But here class is not haves and have-nots. Here it is those who are in power and those who are not in power. Globalization. Protectionism versus openness of the economy. Should we allow foreign goods or not? Should we impose countervailing duty, anti-dumping duty, tariffs? Should we ban Western movies in India? Should we allow Western OTTs in India? Look at it. Globalization. Just now, tariff war. Just now we covered the game, geopolitical game. So all these are having relevance to historical materialism only. Only thing classes are different. So you are quoting the answer. The historical materialism is relevant even right now because it is understood to explain several phenomena. Now, one of the burning topics to explain historical materialism: should there be a special category status? Should there be a special category status to some states? Obviously, yes. Economic backwardness is the reason, one of the reasons, not the only reason. Should there be affirmative actions for social economically backward classes? So which means, if you understand the core concept of the theory, what you have to do, sir, especially sociology optional student, whenever you are free, reflect on the topic. The reflection means your own original thought about that particular topic. Till now we studied what they said. Now we are thinking what is our thought process. And if you give a genuine, valid, balanced conclusion based on your understanding, you are going to get extra half mark, extra 1 mark in every question. Why? You are proving to the examiner you not only understood, but you also internalize the concept and you are using it to real life example. So the basic idea is simple. Anyway, we started with sociological thought. So in that Karl Marx today, so it's an interesting concept called historical materialism. So up to this all okay? Online students, everything is okay? Don't worry about the notes. So I'll give notes also from tomorrow onwards after covering each topic. So wherever possible, I'll be sharing the PDF also for value addition. But once the basic idea, rough idea comes, you will get a rough idea about the topic. Now what should we do, sir? After going home today, just look at the previous year question from historical materialism and look at the dimensions and the terms which we are going to cover. So don't worry, in regular class I'll be dictating notes also, I'll be sharing PDF also. Don't worry, PPT also will be given. Purposefully I'm avoiding PPT because concentration will be more on color rather than content. True? some signboard is there where more attractive colors are there. Obviously, our catchy focus will be on the color. That's the reason why I did not use PPT. So don't worry, it will be shared to you. All is okay? Any questions are there? You can ask. Online students, are you there? Nice. All 10 students are there online. Oh, good. Swati, Vidya, Priyanka, any questions? Sir, maths optional pros and cons. That you should ask math teacher. No. As professional ethic, it's against professional ethic to talk about other optional. No. Personally, if you ask me outside the class, I can talk about that, but not. Every optional is good. You should develop the right skills in that optional to get the score. See, I did not give sociology answer, I gave a balanced answer. Whichever is your interest, whichever optional is you want to take it, then take time and then decide, but try to get as much as possible. But important point, as most of you said, last 5 to 10 years, score, average score. Not only interest here, but also the score and the relevance. If your graduation, post-graduation is overlapping with a subject, if you feel that you are good at, with less effort you can make more marks, yes, I would advise you to take even that also. So ultimately, who can decide that better? Only you can decide. How do we decide, sir? Take 1 week time, read one topic, look at the previous questions, look at your standard, look at UPSC standard, accordingly you can decide. There is one student whose optional was commerce and management because he's a CS student. So he scored very good marks because for him only some few chapters only he wanted to prepare. Because directly syllabus overlap was there, he was getting good marks. So I am saying every optional is good, every optional is equally important, but consider score also, availability also, overlap also, and your convenience also. So accordingly you can take. Sir, one class for important economy topics for upcoming films. No, this is sociology optional class, not economy class, dear. We will plan. So we will see. Vijay classes are there. You can take rapid revision program classes. We will see if possible. No, this is purely about sociology only, not about economy topics. But anyway, I'll explain economic topics as such. National income, inflation, monetary policy, banking, financial market, taxation, fiscal policy, budgeting. Concepts, static part, plus budget and economic survey summary are better. You can see my Telegram group, IAS Educare. So in this Telegram group, daily I am posting current affairs update also, economy updates also. There is a folder, anyway, those who are giving attempt this year, there is a subfolder called Prelims Themes 2025. And you asked economy specially, so there is subfolder also called economy updates. So I covered almost all the terms, so that at least if you roughly prepare from now onward the reverse order also, that's okay, fine. So IAS Educate is Telegram ID. In that, if you are giving attempt this year, look at this folder called Prelim Themes 2025. In this, not only economy there, all important updates are given. Polity update, geography update, SMT update, all that. Especially if you want to cover economy, so try to look at economy updates as much as possible. But if you are thorough with concepts and if you are able to cover the budget and economic survey summary data and solve micro topic, read national income chapter, try to solve previous prelims questions. Read inflation, try to solve previous prelims questions. Read taxation, try to solve previous prelims questions. If you are able to get rough idea about the concept, you can clear. That's all for today. I hope I entertained you for all this. Any other questions? Feeling hungry? Feeling angry? No, sir. Can you wind up? Anyone? That's all. So tomorrow I'll continue from where we stopped. Still we are talking about Karl Marx only. I just gave the glimpse of Karl Marx today. So from now onwards, somebody is asking, what is socialism? What is communism? And what you know is different. sociological thinker Karl Marx said is different, but the way we are using the words is also different. But that is his dream. Of course, he's not in a position to realize the dream also. Never happened also, but he's still hopeful that it may happen in the future. Utopian, something not real. Okay? Entire historical materialism concept can be summarized in the just table. That's all we covered. What all terms also we covered. Okay, thank you all. Sir, in previous, which institute you taught sociology? Again, conflict of interest here. We should not talk about other institutes. A couple of institutes in Hyderabad. You can see in YouTube also videos are available. Just type. In YouTube also videos are available. Okay, dear. Thank you all. So hope we'll come tomorrow again. So don't worry about the notes. I'll dictate the notes also. So wherever possible, value addition also we'll be doing. So this is just to get a rough idea. See, even if you have started preparation right now, get the approach correct. Suppose 1 week classes are over, you got the approach. Oh, topic, micro topic, headings, subheadings, themizers, diagrams, and then we'll go to the next step called answer writing. Okay. Thank you all. See you.